Now, the ANC is reconvening to conclude its national elective conference after failing to finish its program due to numerous delays. One commentator believes that since 1994, the ANC has been changing how it reorganizes itself as both the governing party and the liberation movement. For more, we're joined by Thinc Foundation CEO and founder, Dr. Lucky Mathebula. Very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. Now, the next few days will be very busy for the ANC, which says it's also systems go for the resumption of its 55th National Conference, and then, of course, the annual January 8th statement celebrations this Sunday to mark the party's 111th anniversary. Now, with these very important events taking place, perhaps it's important to reflect on how the ANC has been reorganizing itself since 1994, the democratic breakthrough. What has changed?
Thank you, Mpho, and Happy New Year to you and your listeners. I think since 1994, the ANC has been dealing with one of the most difficult challenges for the liberation movement. It's a liberation movement that has declared 1994 to be both a year of freedom and a year of democratic breakthrough. Now, when people say it's a democratic breakthrough, it's an acknowledgement that there are certain things that are not yet complete in their national democratic revolution. And because they are not complete, it means the revolution is going on. But what is challenging is that when that revolution is going on, it's a revolution against who? Because they are also the state, and they are also a liberation movement that must liberate people from the system which they are now presiding over. That dichotomy of how the ANC is managing those relationships of it being a liberation movement, still liberating its people, and being a government that is managing the system has been the challenge of the ANC. And if you look at it, the policies that the ANC has introduced when it came in, it has been a start-stop, reconstruction and development, the next day gear, the next day Asgisa, the next day Watwa, the next day Watwa, now we're at New Dawn. So the ANC in this conference, where President Ramaphosa has gotten one of the most emphatic mandate from members of the ANC that voted for him, is that he needs to then say, is he a president that is going to maintain the system and make the system to meet the objectives of the ANC as the system, and not to continue with a revolution that tries to deconstruct what they need to construct. The ANC needs to move from a paradigm of deconstructing South Africa and move into a paradigm of constructing South Africa, and that can only happen when the ANC starts behaving more like a political party that is in charge of the state and not the political party that antagonizes the state that it is presiding over.
Yeah. And as you reflect on some of these changes, today ANC policy debates are mired in factional battles. Many may say that the party's founders perhaps were individuals who understood the power of engagement, ideas and so forth, even when the ANC was divided and its internal politics fraught. I mean, just today we saw President Cyril Ramaphosa visiting the graveside of Z.R. Mahabane, saying that he hopes that the wreath-laying ceremony will revive the former leader's legacy in guiding the party.
Mpho, you know, when Nelson Mandela in 1994 voted, Nelson Mandela went to vote in KwaZulu-Natal, and he went to vote at the constituency of Reverend Dube, the founder of the ANC. And after making his vote, he said, mission accomplished. And he went to the grave of Reverend Dube. The question that we have not asked ourselves, what mission did Mandela say was accomplished in 1994? It was the mission of why the ANC was formed. And the mission of why the ANC was formed was that everybody that lives in South Africa must be allowed to be part of the destiny of South Africa. And when Mandela said mission accomplished, that's what he meant. But since then, we have not seen an ANC, and I'm a member, an activist in the ANC. We have not seen the ANC that has been able to move from an ANC that was deconstructing an apartheid state and constructing something new. And this challenge has been a start-stop. Now, When Cyril Ramaphosa took over, he spoke of a new dawn. Took him 5 years to get to the new dawn. He got a new mandate. Now Cyril Ramaphosa and this new team of leaders that are there, they need to start demonstrating to us to say, what are they going to do to construct this country to go forward? Fortunately, the current Secretary General of the ANC, Fikile Mbalula, we've seen him opening the railway line from Soshanguve to Pretoria, from Naledi to Park Station, and some of them in the Western Cape. It looks like he now understands what needs to happen in the country. We need to spend more time reconstructing and making things work than talking about what do we need to deconstruct. Renewal of the ANC must be about the renewal of South Africa and the renewal of the lives of the people of South Africa.
Yeah, and it's interesting, as delegates reconvene virtually to conclude the conference, COSATU was saying that it's looking to the ANC to come up with a solid political and economic program. In fact, COSATU spokesperson Sizwe Pamla was saying that South Africans are running out of patience. So the ANC, whatever it ends up doing, needs to appreciate that it doesn't have the luxury of time. Time, of course, may very well be a luxury as the countdown to the 2024 elections is essentially on.
The branches of the ANC have spoken emphatically. They have removed many of the people that came through the old Mandela Thabo Mbeki era. They have removed them out of the NEC. There are new guys that came in, which means President Ramaphosa has been sent a clearer signal that, look, we have given you people in the NEC that are new. Please take those people into cabinet and remove the people that have been there and nothing has changed. They have contributed what they have contributed. We thank them. They've done very well. But I think the time for most of them to shift so that we've got a new young blood that is going to come in and change this country for a better country. We need people that are going to understand. The way I've used an example of Fikile Mbalula. Fikile Mbalula understands the importance of a train from Naledi to Park Station, and that's why he made it a priority. How many other people that are there in that executive that must do that? There are many new guys there that must be given an opportunity to govern. And Cyril Ramaphosa, it's time for him now. He's got no obligation, he's got no encumbrances, he's got an over 58% support in the ANC. He needs to take that support and clean ship and make sure that he gets men and women that are going to do what it needed to be done. Most of the DGs that he has appointed are men of good quality. They might have been affected by the politicians that were leading them. I think Cyril Ramaphosa now has no excuse. The only excuse that he has is it might be maybe there's no money or whatever, but he needs to start making the right decisions.
We heard Fikile Mbalula saying that Phala discussions are off the table. I mean, what do you think could be some of the implications going forward when it comes to Phala? Or is it a matter that may well be over with?
Look, the judge on the Phala matter, this is what the judge said. He said that there is prima facie evidence that the president might be having something to answer. The judge did not say the president is guilty. He said he's got something to answer, which means there must still be a process where the president is going to be asked questions and the president is going to answer those questions. And the president has never said he doesn't want to answer the question. What the president has instead said, he said he's waiting for the people that are investigating so that as they're investigating and they finish the investigation, they come to him and they ask him the questions that they ask him, and after that they make a determination, and if the matter is prosecutable, the National Prosecuting Authority will take a decision, they'll issue a warrant or they'll charge him, and the president will then face all other implications, including the membership integrity management system of the ANC, which will obligate the president to step aside. So that whole process must be allowed to unfold. And when Fikile Mbalula says this matter must be left until it comes to the end, I think that's what Fikile Mbalula is not saying they want to can the investigation. He's saying allow the investigation to follow its own due process. There's nothing against the president at the moment except perceptions and what people want us to believe about the president. There's nothing in law that obligates the president to step aside or anything, because there's nothing that is on the paper in terms of charging and all those things. So let's wait. South Africans need to wait. It's not like people that have charges on their names. If you have charges on their names, the ANC is clear. Step aside so that you can solve your problem.
Very well. Thank you so much for your time. Let's leave it there for now. Dr. Lucky Mathebula there of the Thinc Foundation speaking to us about some of the developments in the ANC.